evening and welcome to CTV News Channel. Thanks for joining us. I'm Akshay Tandon. We begin south of the border, where tensions are escalating between demonstrators and federal officers. Minneapolis police have now identified Alex Pretti as the 37-year-old who died in hospital after he was shot by federal immigration officers in Minneapolis.
The community has been talking to each other as real people, and these people have come in and been hurting us. They've been attacking us when we've been doing nothing but following the law, peacefully observing, and then they decide to gang up and kill one of us.
According to the Associated Press, a U.S. Department of Homeland Security official said Pretti had a gun with 2 magazines and had approached officers. The department shared a photograph of a handgun. Officials say Pretti was an American citizen who lived in Minneapolis. The shooting comes as clashes between protesters and federal agents have intensified amid President Trump's immigration crackdown. Today's shooting comes 2 weeks after 37-year-old Renee Good was shot dead by an ICE agent. Officials in Minnesota say the federal agents are causing chaos, not keeping people safe, and are calling on the Trump administration to call off the immigration enforcement operation.
Our message is really clear and straightforward. We need ICE out of Minnesota. They are not making us more safe. As the tragic killing this morning, as people saw it viscerally on that video, shows us they are making us less safe.
And here's a look at Minneapolis now, where a group of people are gathering for a memorial for Alex Pretti. Let's now invite Daniel Brunner, retired FBI special agent, in this conversation. Daniel, good evening and thank you for your time here on CTV News Channel.
My pleasure.
This is a second such incident, Daniel. What is your assessment on what really went down there?
Well, assessing from the multiple angles of video that we're seeing at this time, we're seeing that the statement from the Homeland Security does not match up with what we're seeing with our own eyes. The statement, so when you have a shooting, which is an unfortunate occurrence with any law enforcement, what you want to do is, so what you want to do is obviously conduct the investigation. You need to look at the investigation and figure out what happened. The government came out with a statement immediately from the beginning, stating that the individual brandished his weapon and approached the officers. Video later on, within an hour, came out showing that individual was not brandishing his weapon, and the individual did not have his weapon displayed. He was standing in the road, videoing with the individuals, videotaping the officers. It's the officers that then engaged with him. And then you can see in other videos, the officers removed the weapon from his holster. So according to the governor of Minnesota, he had legal right to have that weapon. They removed the weapon. You could then see that the weapon is removed from the situation. Then the gunfire begins, at which point up to 10 shots were fired at the individual who was unarmed. So based on the video evidence that I'm seeing, and based on the fact that there was only one weapon that was shown to us by the government, it's my opinion that the individual was shot who was unarmed. And to me, this is clearly a display of over-aggression, and to me, should be an investigation for somebody's civil rights being violated.
Daniel, so sadly, but we've seen whether it was the case of Renee Good or Pretti today, we're seeing such incidents turn more political than anything else. There are clashing narratives. We saw a similar thing work out even in the previous incident just a couple of weeks ago. Explain to us, how does all that really complicate the matter? And, you know, there can only be one truth after all.
Absolutely. There can be only one truth. And that's exactly the point what you said. There can be only one truth. So unless an investigation is conducted, which was not done in Ms. Good's situation, an investigation was not conducted. There were FBI agents in the Minneapolis division who moved forward with an investigation into the shooting, and their bosses advised her not to close that portion of the investigation. She then resigned yesterday out of protest. So the FBI agents are trying to do the job, trying to conduct the investigation, and they're being directed in another way. They're being told not to investigate something. So the truth is really being muddled up. And for me, it's very difficult to believe what the truth is being told by the U.S. government.
You know, I want to talk to you about the president, who very quickly weighs in on incidents like that, whether it was Rene Good or whether it's Preeti today. When the president comes on his platform and declares whatever the situation is and what he thinks is right, talk to us about how that really complicates the investigation moving forward.
Anybody going on social media, anyone giving an opinion, anyone giving a statement of what happened before an investigation is even conducted, when it's within an hour, whether it be Secretary Noem or Mr. Bovino from Customs and Border Patrol or the President of the United States, coming out with a statement is irresponsible. It is not. It is reckless, because not only does it change the opinion of somebody or the investigation, it's just not true when they're saying is. So clearly from today, there's clear evidence showing that the individual did not brandish a weapon at the officers, but that's the narrative that's being pushed out through to the United States. And just within 5 minutes, that can be debunked. So it loses credibility. So you're losing credibility at the press secretary level of each one of these departments. Yeah. It's very difficult to believe. You have to believe in your government. And if you don't, there's a clear disconnect, a clear problem. You can have a difference of opinions,
yeah,
but to straight up not believe them is very difficult.
Daniel, being from the FBI and of course looking at cases like these and investigations so closely, if I were to ask you how to sort of douse these tensions down and bridge that trust deficit between local and federal governments right now in the U.S., how do you think the situation on the ground can be handled with ICE agents still present in Minneapolis and people coming out in large numbers protesting for what is happening?
I hope I'm wrong, but I think it's too late. I think it's too late because both sides feel that they're right. Both sides feel that they've dug in their heels, and the government is not going to back down. And, you know, the senator of Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar, came out today saying, we want ICE out of Minnesota. That's not going to happen. These are federal officers, and President Trump has set a mandate of arresting what he determines as illegal immigrants in this country, the most dangerous, which clearly for me, you know, as a family of an immigrant, that's completely wrong, that every single immigrant is a horrible person. There's millions of immigrants in this country who are very good people working hard. So I don't know how you bridge that gap. It's going to be a very difficult thing to heal. Now, after this second incident, I have a feeling that I think it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Daniel Brunner, retired FBI special agent, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.